Mahmoud of Church World Service has helped 4 Syrian families resettle in Jersey City this year. He says the vetting process in America is much more rigorous than in Europe.
How long does it take?
The process is a minimum of 4 years for any individual before the time that they flee their country until the time that they come into the United States.
A 4-year vetting process? How that wouldn't really help Syrian families in crisis right now?
They would be in a country, so say they would leave Syria, they would be in Jordan. So they'd be in Jordan for the time being with the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees.
A national debate has broken out over whether America should take in any more Syrian refugees. So far, the country has taken 1,809 this year, the most in California, 75 in New Jersey. But now that one of the Paris attackers is believed to have posed as a migrant from Syria into Europe, 27 governors in the U.S. have said they are closing their borders to Syrian refugees. Governor Christie jumped into the fray last night on a radio show. A month ago, he was talking about America as a compassionate country that needed to take in its share of refugees. But the Paris attack and its apparent link to the migration crisis has him talking differently now.
I do not trust this administration to effectively vet the people who are proposed to be coming in order to protect the safety and security of the American people, so I would not permit them in.
What if they were orphans under the age of 5?
You know, Hugh, we could come up with 18 different scenarios. The fact is that we need appropriate vetting, and I don't think orphans under 5 should be admitted into the United States at this point. But, they have no family here. How are we going to care for these folks?
That prompted Assembly Speaker Vincent Prieto, a Democrat who emigrated here from Cuba at age 10, to issue a statement. What Governor Christie is saying goes against everything America is about, it said. We absolutely must have a thorough vetting process for all refugees, but we also must be better than the governor's xenophobia. Christie sent a letter to President Obama today saying a weak vetting process gives him no choice but to shut the state down to Syrian refugees. Obama said yesterday he's sticking with the goal of taking in 10,000 Syrians. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan today took issue with that.
This is a moment where it's better to be safe than to be sorry. So we think the prudent, the responsible things take a pause in this particular aspect of this refugee program in order to verify that terrorists are not trying to infiltrate the refugee population.
Refugee advocate Mahmoud says the fear being generated around this issue is unfounded.
I think it's just politics, and it's people riling up their bases, and they're trying to play off of that because we're in a political campaign season.
A nation of immigrants grapples with yet another immigration conundrum. In Jersey City, I'm Michael Aaron, NJTV News.
The bullets, they don't stop for children there.
They're safe now in their Jersey City apartment, but Hassam and Suha al-Rustam told us through an interpreter how they carried their 2 kids across a desert to escape the war in Syria, where nonstop bombing left their son shell-shocked.
My son no longer is able to speak due to him being frightened. I lost my store and my house was destroyed. So there's no way that we could live.
Granted official refugee status by the United Nations, the family's one of 4 recently resettled in New Jersey by CWS, Church World Service, one of 9 organizations that works with the UN to relocate families. They just opened an office in Jersey City for a reason.
So it's a very big immigrant population, and therefore, because it's a lot of immigrants here, they're very welcoming to newcomers. The response that we've been getting from residents in Jersey City has been tremendous.
CWS gets $1,900 per refugee to help pay expenses. Meanwhile, a Clifton community service group called Wafa House also welcomes Syrians, even those without proper documents. Some arrive so scarred by trauma they don't want to live. One refugee saw his family executed.
They were shot dead right in front of him. He had to flee. He has tried to commit suicide by drinking Drano.
She says Wafa House provided counseling, beds, clothing, jobs, even interpreters.
They're going to need assistance in every part of assimilation, whether it be from starting a household to opening a bank account. We don't turn anybody away. We try to assist whoever we possibly can.
President Obama ordered the Syrian refugee quota raised from 1,500 to 10,000, but critics say the U.S. has already done its fair share.
I mean, we are having to be very careful about who we let enter this country from these war-torn regions to ensure that terrorists are not coming here. I think the Europeans need to continue to step up here, both in terms of the amount of money they provide for humanitarian relief. They have not done as much as the United States has done on that front.
The United States can easily resettle about 100,000 refugees, which is what we're recommending for the next year. Our process is complicated. It needs to be improved and made more timely, but the United States of America is certainly capable of doing it.
Both Hassam and Suha have relatives trying to flee Syria. His wife bustles about their kitchen while the kids play. The former supermarket owner now works for a moving company. The neighborhood's a good fit, and their son has started to talk again.
I'm feeling a lot better, not a little bit, a lot. Because I feel like my dignity has returned to me.
As more Syrians seek refuge, communities in New Jersey will open their arms and offer shelter. The question is whether they'll get the political and financial support they need to thrive here. In Jersey City, I'm Brenda Flanagan.